All right, I think we're good to go. All right, Mardu Adventures. This deck is basically just a Mardu control deck with Ugin and Chandra to generate sustained card advantage. And then we basically have every adventure creature in our colors, and then Oathakaya and Bedeck Bedazzle as some extra interactive effects. We've got a Mobilized District and then a couple copy of Castle in our mana base to get our lands to give us a little bit of value. But last time we played this, it felt pretty reasonable. This deck did not feel like it had sufficient closing power against the field decks, the Golos decks, but against the non-Golos decks, it felt very reasonable. So hopefully we hit some of the creature-based matchups and not the Field of the Dead matchups. Mono Red got cut in line for today, Just a Victim, so it'll be up tomorrow at some point, most likely. Have to total the points to the queue, but when things get cut, they stay in the deck queue. Yeah, whoever asked about the life total bug, check my twatter. We tweeted an image of it. Sure. All right, not a Field of the Dead deck. Sign me up. The Finger Pistols link doesn't work anymore. That's sad. I think I'm just gonna Foulmire Knight here again. Rather than burn my Bedeck Bedazzle for the time being. I guess this is worse if they have a burn spell. They could, like, burn this and then hit me in the face for 3. The old post-combat Chandra, they must have misclicked, huh? It's a real shame we don't have a murder for this to punish them. Well then, this gains me 3, I guess. I think we might be dead, chat. Maybe they're on nothing. Maybe they just have these 2 cards and lands? Alright. Mortify, Bedeck, Bedevil. This actually might be pretty okay here, huh? Sorcerous Spyglass? Like, turning off their Chandra sounds great. How do we feel about Ethereal Absolution? This is probably better than Ugin. Like, as far as, like, I don't think I want all of them, but, like, a couple seems fine, right? Like, as far as, like, finishers are concerned. Like, obviously, this is, like, our first play is some hot nonsense, but, like, if we're, like, leading up into Ethereal Absolution with, like, other interaction and removal spells, it feels like a fine, hey, you're locked out of the game at the top end, right? I'd be surprised this matchup is bad for us in general. Our draw there was kind of medium. We have, like, Oathakayas and Murderous Riders who are both very good, obviously. This card being split mana casting is great. So we don't have any red source, but we can still cast our entire hand here, because this can be cast for black. And, like, in this matchup, the Absolution can be a win condition, because, like, their deck's full of creatures, right? Which is great. Goodbye. Wow, no play there is absurd for us. I maybe get punished if they Chandra, because I can't Murderous Rider her this turn, but I think I want to play my tapped land to Bolt, eh?
My friend is here to help you, okay? Well, this wasn't fun.
I have a Sacred Foundry.
I'm happy as a hellion to start some fires. Don't worry, I brought company.
Have a light up the stage. No, they just shocked for some reason. Huh? So, I think I want a Bonecrusher Chandra, untap Othakaya Chandra. They have God's Willing. I think that's a card they could be playing, I suppose.
Hey, I'm meditating here.
So this puts me to 14, and then Bonecrusher is a blocker, which is decent. We're kind of running out of gas, but not quite. Sure. They were probably just holding up shock when they shocked this in. I don't know what they intended to kill on my turn, but I assume that's what it was. And their lava coils, slaying fire, deal 4 that's not going to my face. Am I paying 2 life for a card in this economy? I feel like I might be at this point. Maybe not. I'm definitely not because of the way I tapped. I don't think I want to, though, with Chandra coming down.
Living in a monastery full of firebrands?
Yeah.
Hey, these little guys are...
I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to. That could go either way. Alright. It's one of the better draws in our deck.
Time to sleep for a week.
Vomit. Oh. Oh. Sure. Why wouldn't that be the top card? Woof. All right, that's a good brick. Kinda, because now I can't draw Mortify to kill this, which sucks a little. Been lurking on YouTube since this was an MTG only stream. Thanks for making the best content on Twitch. Hashtag Yang2020. It'll be interesting to see how far he goes. If I'm being honest, I'm a little annoyed that there's still 12 candidates at this upcoming debate.
Fire can't solve.
A lot of the people on the Democratic debate stage just shouldn't be there at this point. Get out of the way and let the adults have a conversation. Why did I play Murderous Rider instead of saving it in the beginning? Because losing 2 life on its trigger is detrimental in this matchup if we don't have a sustained source of life advantage. So if I Othakaya their first Planeswalker, I didn't gain life from it, Retro Rocket. So I get that, like, you get to be an armchair expert and, like, look back and, like, have perfect information. But in general, if you want to critique a play that I made or tell me that I'm wrong, and believe me, I'm wrong all the time, just ask my wife. in order to make it constructive and useful, you need to talk about why the play you're suggesting I make is the correct play with the information we currently have available to us. I would be very happy with the Warren nomination. Warren is one of the 3 people I've given money to. Yep, that's very true, Illustrated Nerd. Well, I mean, like, it wasn't just the split support in the last election that helped Trump. It was also the fact that, like, the DNC had a really bad setup that, like, screwed Bernie, right? So, like, the support there was split because of the way the DNC had things set up.
Sit back and watch it burn.
Russia helping Trump didn't help. You're not wrong with that, Marty. Is political talk permitted in these grounds? Yes, it is. Intelligent, reasonable discourse is permitted and encouraged. You should just understand that I am a dirty heart, filthy liberal, or whatever you want to call me. Whatever adjectives you prefer to use, that's what we are. Unapologetic. Warren is interesting, but I have big issues with an economic impact. Her wealth tax could have on the economy. I know! I'm super concerned about her idea of taking money from people who have too much money and giving it to people who can barely afford to live. I think that would have dire changes in economical impacts. I mean, like, the actual answer, no love, is that, like, what happened was a sum of the parts, right? Like, there were a lot of things that happened, and all of those things were included in there. Yeah, I agree. There were a lot of things that broke poorly. Hillary running a bad campaign was also one of them. My biggest problem with there being so many candidates on stage right now still, like, early in the campaign, lots of people being on stage was whatever, but the fact that there's still like 12 people, many of whom don't realistically have a chance, there's a bunch of egotistical turds in the Democratic primary who are up there not because they could be president, they're up there because they're basically auditioning for a different job. Like, they're up there still because they're trying to apply to do something else. Thanks for the 3 months, Pager. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's a good one. Am I playing this out to stem the bleeding? Yeah, I'm done with Epic Card Game on stream, Marty, if you want to clear those commands out. I appreciate you taking care of that. Am I okay with them smacking Chandra around? I think I want to keep my Chandra higher. Let's play Foulmire Knight. This might be wrong. I could go either way on this. Jack Kerbanis, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hooglandia. We've used Giant Killer instead of Swift End there. So the Murderous Rider was exiled to the Chandra. So if I didn't cash in the Murderous Rider, I was going to lose it. It was a use it or lose it type situation. What 3 candidates are I'm okay with? I'd be pretty okay with any of the progressive candidates that are running. But the 3 people that I specifically contributed dollars to were Pete Buttigieg, Andrew Yang, and Elizabeth Warren. So any of the progressive candidates, my two major issues are healthcare, Medicare for all happening, as well as a reasonable addressing of the climate crisis. Those are the two things that I would like to see. What made me donate to those, but not Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders is too old to be president of the United States. He is at a point in his life where he could very realistically have a health issue that prevents him from doing his job. And I will not vote for Bernie or give him money until I know who his running mate is. Because who Bernie's running mate is just as important as who he is. I think Bernie's voting record is great. I think what he stands for is great. But the fact that he could just, like, be sick during office, like, until I know who his VP is, I won't vote for him. Yes, if I love, and don't get me wrong, like, obviously I'm gonna vote blue in the general, but in the primary, like, the primary I need to, like, you know, pick the person that I think is best suited. I need to know that his VP is not gonna be some timid conservative pick to try to appeal to people that he doesn't appeal to. Man, we are just getting dumpstered here, huh? Like, and this is such a great example of like we're like treading water here, but like we're not killing them while we tread water. So like they're just like their hand is just so full of stuff, right? So we want to kill this in response to the trigger, so that way whatever they put on top of their deck, they can't get back. So even if they put this back on top of their deck, the enter the battlefield trigger resolves. Remember that time I swept the board the last 2 turns and it's just like, doesn't matter? Welcome to Field of the Dead. Wolfwood, thanks for the 13 months. Mostly a YouTube viewer, but it's Thanksgiving in Canada, so I have a chance to watch. Well, welcome. Yeah, it seems like it was I did not realize it was Canadian Thanksgiving, but it seems like it was a good day to be live because of that. Oh, the opponent's deck is the one you submitted for tomorrow? Yeah, it seems sweet with the elementals. Omnath especially triggers super fast. So I am not putting, I'm just not taking the time to put the Moto PTQ on my YouTube channel. It just takes too much time to do video editing, and Magic Online's abysmal to watch, so a lot of people aren't going to watch it anyway. So if you want to watch the PTQ content, the Twitch bot is there, but I'm not taking the time to cut that one up, and I'm not putting an 8-hour video on my YouTube channel. All right, I mean, if they're out of gas, we can, like, get some giants down and, like, maybe stabilize here. Let's eat a zombie. Escape the Wilds is great, I think. Card seems super good. Draw 5 and ramp sounds excellent. Yikes. I'm gonna try a second league with this deck. I don't think this deck can ever beat Field of the Dead. Those were 2 pretty quick matches. Let's try one more time. Can field beat Absolution or especially to? Yeah, did you see the Agent of Treachery I conceded to? Or did you miss that part? It was kind of quick at the end. Honestly, against turn 1 Gunner, I guess they could have Spawn of Mayhem or Regisaur. Maybe I should hold the Giant Killer. Could go either way there. I feel like I don't mind just trading here. Man, I feel like I probably should have done what you're doing a while ago, Marty, but thanks for taking out the trash now. It's a command slaughter, right? Marty's doing some spring cleaning, some fall cleaning. How does he know which commands even exist? Because you can pull up a page, yeah, the commands page. I assume he's just scrolling through and looking at all the ones that
You want to play with fire, huh? This is just gonna be bad for you.
don't enter the commands chamber. It's really messy. Yep. Oh, Chandra, I hardly knew ya. Have a good one, Illustrated Nerd. Yep. Okay, well, you get to continue treading water here. Oh, Griselbrand Guide. I remember when that deck was something that we considered playable. Oh, Griselbrand. Woof. We're about to get outground by an aggro deck, aren't we, chat? Feels Mardu, man. Feels Mardu. Yikes. And then they get to sack this to draw a card and get something else back. Their build of mono black seems sweet. Yeah, there's no Lucky Clover in this deck because a lot of our effects just aren't super interested in being redundant. Rough. Scruff, McGruff, rough. You know, some of the time you're like, this deck was okay the first time, and then you play some more matches and it just ends up not being good. And that's okay, you know? Gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet or something, some kind of other reference like that. One of the reasons why these decks feel like they kind of struggle a little bit. They don't have a sustained source of card advantage. These adventure creatures give us a little bit of card advantage, but it's not like it's not like 5 mana Teferi, right? Like Ugin's our only thing that's sustained Chandra's okay, I guess. But those just died to Murderous Rider. I didn't say taxing the wealthy was bad. I said I have problems with her plans. She isn't taxing net income, but instead net wealth. It has implications on how companies will carry debt, awkward conversation, and reinvest plots. By moving a CEO's compensation to be held by the company, you minimize net growth of the CEO. Tax the wealthy, but net worth isn't the way to do it. I mean, there's a number of different plans that she's put together. Like talking about plans for... What I don't understand is, and this is the reason why her wealth tax just makes a lot of sense, like... A lot of people in the middle class pay a wealth tax. We pay property taxes. Like, the only thing of wealth that we own is a house, right? Like, all my other possessions aren't worth that much money. Even my cars depreciate once we drive them off the lot, right? So, like, taxing expensive things that people own that are luxury items especially just makes a lot of sense. Taxing piles of money people have sitting in accounts just earning entrance makes a lot of sense. And I think that's part of the reason why Warren is polling so well, is because you could describe a lot of the things that she's proposing as it just makes a lot of sense. Sure, but this idea, and this is why your position is bad, Genesis Protech. You're saying this thing is difficult to do, so it's not worth doing, and that's just lazy. Don't be lazy. Don't be like, hey, we can't do this thing because doing this thing is kind of hard. Instead, get off your ass and put forth a little effort, and maybe we should do the thing that's kind of hard that's worth doing. Almost nothing that's worth doing is easy. It takes effort. If everything worth doing was easy, we'd be a lot more productive. And I get it. There's parts of her proposal, people will try and lie and cheat the system, and you gotta work through that and figure out the ways that they're gonna do that and make sure that it doesn't happen and punish people who are bad actors. But you shouldn't just be like, hey, we're not gonna do the thing because people are dicks. I do not have a Harry's coat anymore. That one is rolled off. Their products are still good though. I have a bunch of the razors that I use. I think we got a Ben Ugin at this point. Ooh, that's a good one. What's the logic behind taxing people when they earn money and then taxing things they buy after they earn money? Well, you see, providing essential services that people need to survive and exist is expensive, so we levy taxes to pay for the things that we need. Oh, you know what? I would believe that. I'd say some of these I thought I deleted, but I bet some of them got resurrected. But I would believe that. And we're dead. Feels dead, man. Well, this has not been a pretty run. It's only 3 o'clock, so I don't want to start another deck, so we'll try one more here. We get one more loss in this league, but we might end before 4 today if we just end up getting beat up. Sure, but no one's proposing adding more purchasing taxes. The thing that someone was discussing that's saying doesn't work is a wealth tax. That involves taxing people on really expensive luxury items that they own. As well as on piles of money that they keep in bank accounts and don't do anything with. Yeah, but you haven't presented why you have an issue with the Genesis Protech. That's true. We could close on a little bit of Mythgard. Maybe if this is a dumpster fire one more time, we'll do that. Have some dailies built up in that one. Yeah, I agree, Ty Glorious. I agree. I think the scrolling comments on Twitter is generally a dumpster fire, but I read a really good one the other day. It was, there's only two types of people who support Trump at this point, billionaires and idiots, and if you're not sure which of those you are, double check your bank account. Just like, that's a good takeaway. So, punished by this Winged Words for not killing the fairy guide mother sooner. Yep. I don't think we're crushing that one. I think I'd rather just like land Bonecrusher, and then hopefully we hit a 5th untapped land to Realm-Cloaked Giant, clear things out. Notably, Bonecrusher Giant is a giant, so it doesn't die to the cast-off sweeper. I don't think I'm sweeping just these two yet. If they don't commit more to the board, I might just Bonecrusher. Yeah, maybe I am just doing that, actually. I guess they might have a flash threat here. Could have a counterspell, too, I suppose. Maybe I should wait till their turn to do this. Yeah, I should do this during their upkeep. That was bad sequencing on my part. Yeah, there's a quote from one of the people at the IRS that it's easier for them to audit the poor because it's faster and cheaper. Because if you want to audit people who actually have money, who are more likely to be doing bad things, they have lawyers. Like the president. Giuliani's a real lawyer. Yeah, fair. Listen, he only has the best people surrounding him, okay? Only nothing but the best. The bigliest of lawyers. The other thing, too, when people talk about, well, that's not the right way to go about taxing people, or that's the wrong sort of tax to levy, at the end of the day, like, any sort of forward momentum is ideal, and I think people let perfect be the enemy of good far too often. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some of Warren's proposed plans aren't ideal. Like, that's just, like, the reality is, statistically speaking, a lot of them probably aren't ideal. But, like, they're definitely better than what we're doing now, which is letting a significant portion of the country fall further and further into poverty. Probably don't have anything that this kills. Let's just play out our 1-2. Hey, Into the Frozen Sky. Thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. Might be finally about to get on the scoreboard here. Rudy Giuliani is the lawyer you want when you want to downgrade your misdemeanor to felony. All right, Mardu's on the scoreboard. Ethereal Absolution sounds great here. I probably have a hard time defending Chandra, so let's trim her. I also don't want too much top end. Giant Killer, probably. They don't seem like they have many giants. Kaya's Wrath sounds good. They're kind of a lower to the ground deck. Let's bring in our Noxious Grasp. This actually probably doesn't block anything. Maybe I do leave a couple Chandras in for that reason. Like just another piece of spot removal here. Trim one of these because they didn't seem like they have Planeswalkers, and taking 2 life is probably medium. Anyone see any convincingly competitive mono red decks? Martin Yuza won the 16-player fandom tournament with mono red last week or the week before. That's probably a good starting point. There's also been a lot of Cavalcade variations that have seemed reasonable. Yeah, Cavalcade with Torbran. With the angry dwarf. Kills people real fast. That seems fine. Kill your thing, sweep your board. The most important part of her plan to me is the antitrust measures against gigantic tech companies like Facebook and Google. It's unsettling how immersive. Yeah, they're nah, probably not anymore, Warhammer Marty. Cryogenic, thank you for the 4 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. As something of an intellect myself, one of the appeals of Warren is the fact that, like, she's very well educated and understands economics based on her educational background. I think I'm just Othakaying here. Yeah, and that's honestly a really important quality in any leader, and that's one of the reasons why Trump is such a bad and dangerous leader, is Trump doesn't know what he doesn't know, and doesn't defer to other people who are field experts appropriately. That's something that's really, really key in someone that's gonna run the country. Knowing what you don't know is a big deal. Let's murder this guy before they untap and have a counterspell up. Like, I could get greedy and try and sweep here, but like taking a chunk for 4 here doesn't sound super appealing. This is my 2-3. Erases your 1-1. Too often, highly educated are seen as know-it-alls. Listen, I think one of the big mistakes people make talking about the Democratic candidates right now is that trying to find a Democratic candidate that he is still selling popcorn, Marty. That appeal to people who voted for Trump is silly. Anybody still backing Trump at this point is like fully drank the Kool-Aid. We're changing the channel monitor command has been deleted. I think someone who suggested earlier was right when the bot got resurrected, it brought back a bunch of old commands. Holy crap, we're on the scoreboard, chat. It took playing against blue-white flyers in the old 0-1 bracket. But we managed to do it. Jake very easily cleared double the minimum required amount for selling popcorn. Yeah, the fact that Trump has finally turned on no, woe duels can go away. The fact that Trump has finally turned on Fox and vice versa has been a refreshing change of pace. They're trying to position themselves for a post-Trump world, which is delicious. Feather? The 1/1 bracket of these things. Oh, Knights, sure. Knights is probably a deck our sweeper deck is full of. Our sweeper deck is finding ends. The Equifax command should be passed. They ran out of money to pay people very quickly. It was not a good scene. When Jake is older and wants to eschew college and starting his internet career, what are you going to say to him? I don't know. It depends on if he's good at it. He'll have an unfair advantage being related to me. Having some small amount of notoriety to start helps, but nothing's a guarantee. Listen, Brimstone, this FUD that we can't afford nationalized healthcare is exactly that. It's FUD. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The United States of America spends more per capita on healthcare to worst results than every other developed country in the world that has a nationalized healthcare system. So take your Republican talking points and kick them out my door. Nationalized healthcare is a boon to basically everybody that's not making gobbles of money off that industry. So I think I'd rather Othakaya this Bonecrusher rather than Rider it, because Ridering it costs me a lot of life, and notably because Othakaya is killing it with a trigger, I don't take 2 back from this. So we just get to kill this and not take anything, which is great. All I want to do is make enough money that it makes sense to vote Republican. Isn't that really the American dream? Isn't that to make enough money that you can ignore the racism? I don't do the racism, but I make enough money that I want the tax breaks. Cut me some slack. Get out of here. Oh, America. Test user. Well, thanks for testing your Twitch Prime here. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hooglandia. Trapped in the tower. Yep. Well, that's a 7/7, right? This might be a precon. Socialized medicine leads to a larger prevalence of preventative medicine, driving healthcare costs way down. Yep. Yeah, I agree, Ty Glorious. Because the United States healthcare system is based around turning a profit, we much rather react than be proactive. Because a healthcare company doesn't know that you're still going to be their customer, a year from now. So they don't want to pay for you to get preventative stuff done if they might not have to pay for the actual the thing in the future. I don't know what our opponent's doing. I don't really have extra win cons in our board. I kind of feel like boarding in win conditions if we have them. This is kind of a win condition, I guess. I think I'm gonna click submit. I'm gonna click submit. Thank you, test user. Yeah, not everybody that makes a pile of money votes for Republican, obviously, right? Like that's definitely true. There are liberals that make plenty of dollary dues. Am I highlighted by Wizards of the Coast? Where would that be happening? That sounds like somebody pressed the wrong button. Oh, I think they just highlight the top people in the Magic category. Or was it mentioned? Oh, they highlighted my written article. Got it. That's probably a CSI thing more than anything. Yeah, that's another big thing too. Is we pay for pharmaceutical research and then then they dictate the price that they sell it back to us. Are we? I think my opponent might be timing out. Awkward. I think I'm actually about to be done for the day, J Boogie. This deck's been pretty medium. Just like no good card advantage, kind of dead to field. Something to just plug before we go. That article that someone mentioned that was linked from the mothership is up here. Cool stuff, Inc. So if you've been enjoying the Temur Oko deck, it's got a deck list up here, notes on why we're playing the cards we're playing, and then down here is the part everybody wants. There's not only a sideboard guide with ins and outs, but I hate just in-out sideboard guides. The sideboard guide also talks about whether or not the matchup's good or bad, which cards are key cards in the matchup, etc. So lots of good information there if you're looking to gain some knowledge and not just copy and paste things. Oh, is our opponent back? I guess we'll finish. Hey, thanks for the 8 months, McNux. Key strategy stuff, yeah. I'm big on teaching to fish. Something, plug before we go, title of your sex tape. Alright, I'm gonna be done for the day. I thought I might close on Mythgar, but I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna sit here while this person ropes out and does something else. Let's see who else is true that we could give a host to. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm gonna be going 7 to 2 every day this week. Oh, look, they disappeared. Oh, that's right. When they rope out, it just puts the hands up automatically. So they just wait for them to rope a second time. I forgot that's how that works. Mr. Jensen is streaming. Let's send you his way. Everybody have a good one.